Namaste. Welcome to this short practice for the hips. This is really my warm-up for a longer class that I'm teaching about the hips a little bit later today. But if you don't have time for that longer class, then this could be the practice for you. So I'm going to take a block and just sit on it, just to begin. If you would like to prop your hips up onto something, it just makes sitting a little bit easier. And come into your comfortable seat, sitting with your body as upright as it feels able to be right now. And then bringing your body to stillness, closing your eyes or gazing gently downward. And just allow yourself to arrive in your yoga space, arrive on the mat. And take a mental note of how you are feeling today. Notice your breath, just the breath that is there without any control. Notice the sensations in your body. Perhaps becoming aware of the thoughts on your mind and your emotions. Like a mental photograph of the present moment. And then begin to just gently deepen your breath. As you do that, allow your exhalation to be a little longer, a little more complete, using the abdominal muscles gently drawing in to encourage air out of the lungs. Then breathe deeply into the sides of the body, the chest, the upper back. And exhaling slowly but fully with a little gentle encouragement from the abdominal muscles. Breathing in fully and deeply. Breathing out slowly and completely. And as you continue with this breath, just feeling that sense of increased vitality. Perhaps you get a sense of that with the increased prana coming in and out of the body. You can continue to breathe like this as long as you're aware of it. Let's come now into more movement. So drawing your chin gently towards your chest. It's not a forced hold towards the chest, it's just a gentle drop here. Rolling the right ear towards the right shoulder. And back to the chin and the chest, and left ear to left shoulder. So begin with this neck movement, exploring how the body is feeling. Noticing any areas that feel stuck or closed, stiff or sore. And remembering not to press through that, just work around. If you want to, you can roll the chin up towards the ceiling as well, so you make a little sort of circular movement. And a few in the opposite direction as well. Do what feels the best for you, whatever movement feels good. Coming back to neutral and beginning to move the shoulders. And it doesn't matter how you move them, so move in the way that feels most natural for you. I like to begin with these short sort of shoulder rolls. And then you can begin to get more into the arms. And that in turn allows the upper back and the chest to move more. And perhaps Now into the sides of the body. And feel that you're able to move through any planes that work for you. So for example, I've got a little stiffness under this arm, so I might work a little bit more in this arm. I can use my hands to massage any parts of the body that feel like they need a little bit extra. And when I'm ready, I can straighten out the legs and begin to move the legs as well. So we're going to do these circular movements where we are articulating at the ankle, making ankle circles, and the knees are bent, coming together and apart. We can go in both directions, and you'll notice that it encourages the upper body to sway a little bit as well, because no one part of the body is separate from the others. So if you feel inclined to just allow yourself to undulate the movement, I'm going for it. If you want to do a little bit more lengthening, then you can, but you don't have to. We're going to come to that anyway. But if you fancy it, a sort of lengthen and fold, or a side bend here. Doing whatever feels good to you. And then I'm coming off my block now because I need it no longer, hopefully. Coming to sit with the right leg in front of the left leg and taking the hands onto the knees themselves. We're going to begin with a little bit of swaying ourselves in circles. So it doesn't really matter which direction you go in, but I find it's easier to fold over the leg that's bent in on the outside first, because then I always remember which way I'm going. Very good. And these circles can become a little bit wider if you want. And remember that your neck is part of your spine, so allow your head to move with the spine as well. We'll do one more in this direction. And then we're going to extend the right leg, keep the left leg bent in, and do a kind of figure of 8 with the upper body. So we're going to reach the back of the left hand towards the right foot, and then sweep it up and over the head, turning through the upper body as we do, placing the left hand behind us and sweeping the right hand over towards the left, making a big circle with the right hand as well. Same sort of thing. So we go back like a figure of 8, sweeping the right hand towards the left foot and up, using the chest and the spine together, sweeping the right hand over to the left, opening up and around. Lovely. Left hand to right leg and up, and sweeping the right hand over to the left and round. So we've done 3 of these, and this time we're going to lift the hips off the floor as we go to the left hand side. So if you're not sure, just watching, taking the back of the back of the left hand, sweeping it towards the right leg, reaching up and twisting, and this time, if you want to, placing the right hand down, the left hand down even, and sweeping the right hand over, lifting the hips. So a little baby wild thing. So we'll do 3 of those. Sweeping, placing the left hand down, lifting the hips, pressing into the left hand, the left shin, the right foot. And one more. This is a lovely way to begin to waken up those connections in the pelvis, the sides of the body as well. And then we'll come back to center. I'm going to draw the right leg in. I'm going to turn to the left. So the right leg comes in, the left hand comes behind us, and we twist into a little low squat. And here in this low squat, And sort of shimmer ourselves a little bit from side to side. Good job. If that feels good, we're going to reach the hands a little bit further away and uncurl ourselves, rotating on the balls of the feet to come into downward facing dog. And here, just playing with your down dog while I dispense with my cardigan. It was cold in the yoga room this morning. There we are. Super duper. And so it doesn't really matter what you do in your dog, but it's really nice to drop the heels to one side and bend and stretch the legs, keeping the hands firmly planted into the floor so we don't drop in the shoulders. And then coming up onto the toes and doing the same on the other side, bending and stretching the legs. And you feel that open all the way underneath the arm, down the ribs, across the hip, on the side that's being lengthened. And then from here, we're going to do a mini waving vinyasa. So we're going to take our knees to the floor, hands a little bit further forwards, and then drop the hips towards the heels, looking back towards the knees, round the upper back as you press away from the knees and the feet, and move the shoulders forward. When the shoulders come towards the hands, imagine you're dragging your hands and elbows back towards you, dropping your hips down a little bit, opening your chest, and then you're going to press up through hands and knees and begin to round the back as you bring the hips back down towards the heels and backwards and forwards. So looking back at your knees as you come forward again, pressing off the feet as the chest comes forward, drawing the elbows backwards, brings the chest forward, dragging the hands back towards you, open the chest. And then pressing up through hands and knees back onto hips to heels. One more, rounding through the back, dragging the hands and the elbows towards you. And here we're just going to pause. The hips are off the floor, and we're just gently going to turn from one side to the other. Nice little bit of effort in the abdominal muscles there. Softness in the elbows. Coming back to center, pressing up to hands and knees, all the way back with your hips to your heels. Walk your hands a little bit towards you. And we're going to keep, now I need to have a little bit of a think about this. We're going to keep the left hand on the floor and turn the hips back so that we end up with the left leg in front. Coming back into sitting. And here in sitting, just taking a moment. Allow your body to assimilate that information. Allow the spine to organize itself. Absorb the effect. And we'll take the hands onto the knees again and begin our circles, swaying circles, but in the opposite direction. So, just gently swaying the torso. And as you build up a sense of space, then perhaps you want to do a little bit more. You can lift your chin, you can fold a little bit deeper, but find your way to that and do what feels best for you today. We'll do 2 more like this. And then extending your left leg away from you. And we'll begin our figure of 8s. So we're going to sweep the back of the right hand towards the left leg, leaning slightly forward, and then reaching up. Let the chest follow and open. Release the right hand down behind you, and then reach the left hand over to the right. In a nice sweeping circle where we get that sense of length down the left side as well. We'll do 2 more like that, sweeping the back of the right hand to the left leg, reaching up. Opening the chest as you twist and freeing the left arm to sweep over and up. 1 more. Like this. And now we can do our baby wild things as well. So Finding that length with the right arm first, then pressing the right hand down. And as you sweep the left hand towards the right side, lifting the hips, pressing down into the shin and the foot of the right side, the right arm. And as the arm comes over, releasing the hips down, sweeping the right hand, freeing it from the floor, reaching up, twisting through the torso, pressing down through that arm, firming the space underneath the right side of the body. As you lift the hips, feel all the things that are involved in that movement. Last one like this. Very good. And then we're going to fold our left leg in, keep the right hand on the floor and twist yourself round into a squat. So same thing with the squat. This time, if you want to, you can take your feet a little bit wider and do a little bit of a shimmy from side to side. Shimmy, you know what I mean? Gentle movement from side to side. And then we're going to walk our hands forward. And as we do that, just lifting in the hips and rotating on the balls of the feet. Now your feet will be probably off your mat, so stepping them back onto your mat. Doing anything that feels good here in your downward facing dog. Perhaps a little softness in both knees and shimmying the hips from side to side. Wagging your tail. Or perhaps you just like the sense of length down the back of the legs. You can press the chest towards the thighs as you press one heel down and then the other. When you're ready, you can walk your hands a little further forward. And if you want to, you can do the same variation we did before, where you drop your knees to the floor. And if you're ready for a full waving vinyasa, you can take that now. So soft in the knees, pressing off the feet, rounding through the upper back. When the chest comes between the hands, it's like you're dragging your hands and elbows back towards your hips to draw your chest through. The elbows are nice and bent. And then pressing up through plank pose and back into downward facing dog. I'm slightly wide, it's coming in a little bit. Let's do 2 more of those. Rolling forward, dragging the hands back, opening the chest, elbows nice and bent. Really buoyant on your joints because they're all involved, they're all soft. So all of the muscles are involved. Last one as you come forward, opening the chest. We're going to hold this one and just do that again, little gentle shimmer from side to side. Soften the knees, soften the elbows, and then come to center, drop the knees and rest all the way down. Make a pillow out of your hands and allow the tops of the feet to rest to the floor as well. So here, you're going to keep your head down. I'm just going to keep my chest lifted ever so slightly so you can hear me better. And gently shimmy your hips from side to side. So wagging your tail, waggling your bottom. And come back to the center and take a moment in stillness, just a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. And we're going to bring the feet together, or towards each other, not together. And keeping your upper body rested. So elbows are down, forehead down onto the back of the hands. Press the left foot down, lift the right leg up. A straight leg, just a few inches off the floor. And then keeping the leg in that position, simply bend the knee just a little, just softly. And then reach the right foot over to the left side of the body. And then back to center and releasing down. Press the right foot down, lift the left leg up. Just a few inches, then bend the knee to lift the foot a little bit higher. Roll the left foot over the body behind you to the right side, so the left hip lifts, and back to center and releasing down. Pressing the left foot down, lift the right leg up, long, bend the knee, so the foot's a little higher, reach the right foot over the left side of the body, the right hip lifts away, but the upper body is still, and release back to center and down. Press the right foot down, lift the left leg up, soften the knee to lift the foot a little higher. Reach the left foot over to the right side of the body and release back to the center and down. One more to each side, working in your own time. And this is slow and controlled, but perhaps you can explore that feeling of openness across the pelvis and also the effort in the back of the body. When you come back to center, give your hips a bit of a shimmer and then relaxing, taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. We're going to take our hands underneath our shoulders, press up to hands and knees. And here in hands and knees, we're going to circle our hips. So the knees can be quite wide, the hands quite wide. We're just going to ease out any feelings of stuckness after that practice, and the opposite way as well. Oh, I've got a clicky shoulder. And then we're going to tuck our toes under, bring our hands back towards us, leave the right hand down, twist or away from that right hand to the left. So you end up with the right foot in front of you. Coming into sitting again. Just take a moment here, closing the eyes or gazing downwards. Let the body assimilate, absorb that information that you've given it. This is the perfect time for a short relaxation. So if you would like to do that, you can now. This was just a taste of the fuller class of the hips. And so I hope that was useful as a daily wakening up, particularly for the pelvis, the low back, the abdominal muscles as well. And I'll see you again for another practice. Namaste. Have a great week.